plug into the natural. Remind myself of love and light. Could have been just shadow, but it's shallow water on my back. Listing forward to my fantasies. Won't take this world for granted. And self find all the answers. Confused so I don't follow. Need for my mind, loving all the time. Money don't override. Getting paper is paper, getting greater is greater. So easy, so sweet, so beautiful. Need nothing for the fall. Let me land free from it all. From it all. From it all. Got my superpowers. And I'm smoking clouds. Shower me with lavish. Tell myself I got this. Scientist on this rocket. Fire away, I'ma block it. Sitting in my room, trying to get the living.
Here we will be installing our Tach Plug. This is used to cap the hole where the cat cable comes out. Because we are using an electronic speedo, this cable is no longer needed. To set timing, we are setting the engine to top dead center. You want to see the OT on the flywheel through the viewport. Then rotate the rotor until you see the light just cut off.
To feel the dew on your skin, that is how it would begin. For summer is for falling in love.
Using a slap hammer and wire, I'm removing the old crate case vent and installing a newer version.
We could stay out late until the sun sets past 8. And the cotton candy haze mirrors the warmth of your gaze. Raise your glass to mine, and as we drink, we would lock eyes. So we could disregard the thought of ever having to part. For summer is for falling in love.
Because we are no longer venting back into the intake, we are using the Osmo engine breather PCV catch can. The wire mesh catches the oil while the motor is running and then drains back down into the engine. We will be using the MOTOGADGET M-Lock as a key for this bike. We will be hiding the receiver inside of the seat cushion. The RFID will work through fabrics, but not through solid materials like sheet metal.
Sunset right before the day is dead. But maybe the heat of today could keep even winter away. So I'll remember your laugh, 'cause nothing ever changes the fact that summer is for falling in love. Da-dun-da-dun-day. Summer is for falling in love.
We will be using the smaller Shorai battery and the Cognito Moto battery box to mount this battery below the tank. This mounts using an existing single hole in the frame. connect the battery, we'll be using super flexible 4-gauge battery wire.
Wind me up and watch me choke. He could build me with feathers and break me with smoke.
To make things a bit cleaner, we are running the wires from the ignition control module through the loom for the starter positive. This goes through a single grommet on the engine case.
Me, I feel 1,000 different ways. Still, I'd rather act than articulate. I've got cracks on my back and my shoulder and my leg. You see, I'm an angel, but I do bad things. And when you want me, well, I'll be gone. So talk to me another time. See, I don't need your recklessness, because I got mine. Oh, won't you look for me on a different day? I wanna be the one that got away. I wanna be the one that got away. But there's always hope to keep us going. I still see a white picket fence and green grass.
To eliminate the choke cables, we are using these 9619 DeLorto choke levers. The intake delete cover removes the mounting for the original choke lever. This is a very tidy alternative. Now that everything on the bike is assembled, we are ready for fluids. For the transmission and final drive, we'll be using liquid moly 75W90 gear oil, and for the engine, 20W50 motor oil. Synthetic oils are not recommended for the engine break-in of the Rock kit.
On a different day, I wanna be the one that got away. I wanna be the one that got away. Just let me go. You won't need what you don't know. Just set me free. It's your love that's killing me.
Now moving on to the brakes. I like to use a brake bleeder kit just to get the fluids down to the caliper quicker. I have found that when bleeding the brakes on a motorcycle, it's best to pump a few times, then open the bleeder, depress the brake lever, then close the bleeder. This is slightly different than how you would bleed brakes on a car. Because the rear caliper hangs upside down with the bleeder facing the ground, it must be removed to bleed, allowing trapped air to get to the top. What? Alright, so this week we've got the headlight installed, we got the battery installed, spark plug cables, got the timing set, got the covers put back on. We were able to start up the bike and tweak the carbs a little bit, get them synced and get the fuel adjustment dialed in. As time goes on and we ride it a little more, we will go back and kind of dial the bike in a bit more and get everything just right. So we took the bike out and we noticed a bit of oil getting on the rear tire, and what it was actually gear fluid coming out of the transmission, and where the transmission seals together, the seal that seals that is actually leaking from the bottom and around the side. When I got the transmission, I didn't really do anything with it other than clean it up. I didn't go through it or refresh it in any way. So, it sucks. We're just gonna have to pull it back out. I'm not familiar with these transmissions and I don't have the tools to take the transmission case apart. So what I'm going to do is I've talked to another shop that has built hundreds of these things, or rebuilt hundreds of these things, and they're actually going to rebuild it for me and get it back out to me relatively quick. They think they can do it in a day or two, and then ship it back. And they're not too far away, so that'll be good. At this point, I just don't want to take the thing apart and then not know what I'm looking at inside of there and get everything set just right. Like, there's a number of seals and or a number of shims that go into that transmission to get everything properly placed, and I don't want to mess any of that up. And again, not having the tools, it'll take me longer to get the tools to go through it anyway. So rather than do that, we're just going to send it off to them and have them do it and get it back and reinstall it. So once that happens, we can go out and ride it and try and get some footage of actually riding the bike and show you what it's like on the bike and with all the changes that have been made. There's a preload adjuster at the bottom of the shock, and then you've got your compression and rebound adjustments on the top of the shock. So I'll have to ride it a little bit to get those settings set just where I want them. But right out of the gate, I typically set things on the softer side, just a couple clicks up from soft and then go from there. But first impressions, the bike rides really nice. Not only the bike just functioning like it should, but the rider input. You want those feelings to feel really good. Whether it's the buttons or the controls or the brake or the clutch. You want your inputs to feel really nice, and that just gives you an overall feeling of how the bike feels. Whether or not the bike runs and runs and runs. I mean, obviously it has to run, but the inputs where you're controlling the bike, when those feel good, it just changes the whole way that you feel about the bike. And so first impressions of this, it is really nice. The control's really nice. The master cylinder feels solid. The clutch is nice, and it's not hard at all. It's the original clutch and cable setup, so it's nothing over the top there. We didn't push the clutch to an upgraded clutch. Yeah, the next step, we're gonna have to take the transmission out. So we'll probably do a little bit of that footage and getting the new one back in, and then hopefully in the next time we shoot one of these videos for this BMW, we can actually take it out and maybe get some glamour shots of it. We're going to try and continue on these video series. I have a CB350 that I'm pretty close to finishing that I need to button up, that I've had for a while. We need to make a battery and stuff for that, or battery box and everything for that bike, and kind of put the finishes on it, get the chain mounted, get the carbs dialed in, that kind of stuff. So that'll be the next bike that we wrap up, and then we have a number of other bikes that we're gonna dig into. Some CBs, obviously. I think those will be very useful. But anyway, not the end of us doing these videos like this. I kind of like the platform, and it pushes me to get projects that are constantly put on the back burner. For us, it becomes about production, right? And so we're manufacturing parts, and we're trying to keep up with orders. And so our projects, the bike builds always get put on the back burner. And so what happens is there's no deadline on it, right? Like, we're building these bikes. The majority of these bikes are just to showcase parts and demo, what we're doing, or show how to install something. So, you start something, and a number of years go by before you come back to it, just because your projects get pushed back because your goal is to put the orders out. So if I put this on a weekly kind of platform like this, it's been good for me to force myself to come in here, whether it's dedicated Friday to it, or a Saturday or Sunday, or whatever the case is, and put a little bit of time each week to building these bikes. Because of the video, it helps me get these projects done faster, and I think that's good for us, and it's good for people wanting to learn how to do things, and showing how the parts are used, and sharing ideas. So yeah, anyway, that's the plan. Hopefully we can keep these things going once a week. It'll be a challenge, but I like it. It's been pretty good. All right, now Scott's here and he's waiting on me, so I'm cutting this off.